Hey, what it do, what it do, what it do? This is your boy once again, KQKC Boxing Network. And this is another edition of Boxing Updates. And this definitely brought to you by none other than your boy, the singing OG. Now, David Benavidez has a lot to say. I mean, not only in his fight, not only in his brother's fight, not only about his hometown, not about his training camp, but last and not definitely least, about Terrence Crawford versus Shawn Porter. Yes, that's right. You heard it correctly. He has some advice to give. Wow. Really, David? Wait a minute. Is that your weight class? But it doesn't matter what weight you are. Fundamentals never change, no matter what weight class you are. So, let's get into the video. David Benavidez has revealed the straight that he will employ to beat Terrence Crawford if he were the one facing him. And that's coming this Saturday night on November the 20th. And we're talking about with Shawn Porter. Now, David Benavidez, now, not Jose now. We talking about David. Yes, David with the no defense, straightforward, flat-footed, Frankenstein walk. That David Benavidez. He believes that he will put pressure on Crawford. And cause, if I stop for a minute, let me tell you. He's kind of like what I'm saying. Now, I want you to keep in mind today when we talk about this also. I'm not taking his words. I'm not taking his advice. I'm giving my own. I'm giving my own opinion. And pressure is one of them. And he's going to mention another one that I mentioned. Let's just keep talking about it. Now, of course, Benavidez said he would apply pressure on Crawford. Keep in mind, Crawford's 37-0, 28 KOs. But, oh yes, a but he never fought this type of caliber of a fighter. Other words, I'm sorry, Bud Crawford fans. You know KQ. I call it straight up and down. I call balls and strikes. And right now, Terrence Crawford is finally fighting his step-up fight. Now, of course, if the Manny Pacquiao fight would have went through, and Bob, who self-admitted that he pretty much racked the motherfucker, so therefore, that would have been his step-up fight. But now he has to settle for Shawn Porter, which Shawn Porter fights every 3 minutes of each round. Now, of course, besides the pressure, he would non-stop and target his body to wear him down. What did I say in my last video with Terry Hopper? That video that a lot of people don't like to watch because it's women, because I see it has low views on it. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, not giving the women the accolades and the high praises that you will give a man. Now, of course, he said the two things that I always refer to. The Pressure by Sean Porter. And always, like I tell Knockout 86, but Knockout Boxing 86 TV. The Body Shots. Like I said on the videos that you all don't watch. The Body Shots. A lot of people get away from the body shots. And that will work against Terrence Crawford. Now, no offense against Terrence Crawford, so don't jump on me. But Terrence Crawford's not a big guy. That's why I always say he will get hurt at 154. Terrence Crawford's not a big puncher. That's why I say he will get hurt at 154. Terrence Crawford, say sometimes fights just have to pass you by. Other words, ducking Earl Spence. That's why I say he's not a big guy. Now, of course, I'm not pro Crawford, and I'm not hating on Earl Crawford. Terrence Crawford. I'm sorry. Now, of course, he goes on and say, we saw Benavidez show the style that he will use to beat Crawford Saturday night when he wore down the counter-punching Karan Davis, who's 16-3, who took him 7 rounds to get out of there. Is he ready for Canelo? Hell no. We'll talk about that today. Oh, I got a show for your ass. All right? You got to be there. I know Trill be on. I get it. But you got to be there at 12:30. Now, of course, Karan Davis was 16-3. He only had 6 KOs. Now, David did apply the pressure and the body shots in their fight that took place in Phoenix, Arizona. Right on Showtime, baby. Now, like Canelo Alvarez, Crawford is good at moving his head to avoid headshots, but is less effective at getting out of the way of punches aimed towards his body. What have I told you all? The head moves and the body don't. Hello, somebody. Huh? Haven't KQ told you that? Go back into my last, 12 live streams, 14, 20. I have seen fighters get knocked out by body shots. Like Canelo Alvarez, Crawford's good at moving his head, like I said. But he's less effective, again, getting out the way of them body shots. Now, unfortunately, the 34-year-old Crawford, now keep in mind, he is 34. This career is winding down. Another thing, you got to pay attention to KQ, baby. I'm telling you, KQ be spitting the facts. He's 34 years old. And I believe the cutoff time for a true fighter that want to finish in high class, low class, or middle class, it should be 37. So Terrence Crawford got to stop turning down fights and get his ass in there and fight. I get it. Bob was half to blame. But you have to blame yourself also. I'm sorry. I have no personal interest in neither one of the fighters. So, of course, I'm going to call the balls and I'm going to call the strikes. Now, let me keep this going. Crawford will be defending his WBO welterweight title against mandatory challenger Sean Porter, who's 31-3 and 17 KO on ESPN Plus and pay-per-view at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So, in other words, you got to get ESPN. You got to get ESPN Plus. Then you got to get the pay-per-view off the EPSN Plus. So, therefore, they are raking up on these pay-per-views. We just got finished with a Wilder fight. We just got finished with a Canelo fight. And then here comes Crawford. Here comes Gervonta Davis. Oh, wow. One of your boys, KQKC, going to have to miss out on one of these pay-per-views. Remember, I'm a single man. Remember, I'm a retired man. Remember, I'm not a rich man. Now, let's move on. Oddly enough, this isn't a fight that Crawford wanted. Excuse me. I do like my general say, excuse me while I blaze. Okay? Now, hold on. Well, anyway, there we go. Now, of course, this isn't a fight that Terrence Crawford really wanted. See, despite the years of complaining about not getting the top guys to fight him, when one finally showed interest, Crawford didn't want the fight. Is it because Crawford knows Porter presents a lousy style matchup for him, or what? You see, I have preached about this. We have talked about this. Crawford did not want this fight. I said this 2 streams ago. Live streams ago. He did not want this fight. Then Bob actually gave it some attention and said, I give you $1 million. Now get out my face. Crawford like, hell no. I know I'm not a champion at the present time, but I am a 2-time champion. And I have fought whoever that stood in front of me at the 147-pounder. And he's right. So, the WBO, they ran it back and said, hey, wait a minute. We got a young man over at top rank. Haven't fought in, what? How long? He's a champion, and how many defenses have he had? How many mandatories do he have? So, therefore, they ordered that fight. So, Crawford and Bob Arum don't have a choice. So get your ass in there, Crawford. And I wish you the best. I wish Sean Porter the best. I do not want no fighter to step in that ring and come out on a stretcher. Never did and never will. Because we know this is a sport of boxing. We know this is a sportsmanlike ship type fight. Okay? We'll never want to see a fighter get hurt. We have seen many fighters get hurt in the ring. Adonis Stevenson, Patrick Day. Shall I go on? Now, I'm sorry for that. Okay? Now, oddly enough, as I mentioned, Crawford didn't want this fight. But now he got it. Okay? Now, can Porter let Crawford box on him? Now, of course, I like to read a quote. And this is from David Benavidez. I think Crawford is going to get him. Okay? Yes, sir. David Benavidez says, it's not going to be an easy fight because Porter is a tough, rugged fighter. But I think Crawford uses the ring really good. Yes, he does. And this is what I also mentioned. And his IQ is really good. And that's per David Benavidez. He was interviewing with Fight Hype when he said that. Shout out to Fight Hype. They do great work over there. Now, of course, in predicting next Saturday night fight between Crawford and Porter, we'll see what happens. You can't count Porter out because when you count him out, he does better than you expect. Like you seen with Keith Thurman, like you seen with Ugas, and definitely like you seen with the two-time unified champion. Yes, Earl, the true Spence Jr. So, it's definitely going to be a good fight. But David Benavidez said, hey, I got Crawford. I got him. I got him locked. And that's who I'm going with. All right. There you go. There you have it. Straight from the KQKC, the singing OG mouth. David Benavidez have a lot to say. But we're going to start today at the beginning. Because he did fight this past weekend. This past weekend on Showtime was the Benavidez show. Y'all remember? Once before, Showtime had the Charlo show. And that's right, Austin Trout, he was one of the supporting roles in that fight. So kudos to Benavidez. Kudos to Karan Davis. We're going to talk about him also. He came to fight. He went out on his shield. Barry Hunter saves his fighters. He tried not to let them take too much punishment. Because that's what trainers do. That's what promoters do. So, with that and more, join me today at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. I am the singing OG, KQKC Boxing Network. I come on Monday through Friday. That's right. If you haven't joined, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hell, hit the dislike button. Shake the algorithms up. Show your love to the last video for the women. The women deserve every right that a man should get. They should get 3-minute rounds just as much as men gets. So show your love for these videos. Your boy KQKC be working, and yes, it's double duty today, baby. Not only the video, but my live stream. You have to join me today. We're going to go over all the fights once again. I know, I get it. You heard it before, but you ain't heard it like KQKC puts it. I'm going to put it down and straight down the middle. I told you, I call balls and strikes. Which one are you going to call today? So with that, that's all I have for you right now. See you at 12:30 p.m. lunchtime. Shout out to the almighty LDBC. Shout out to Black Media's Row. Shout out to all my supporters. I thank you for subscribing to my channel. I thank the ones just thinking about subscribing to my channel ahead of time. Keep in mind, please keep this in mind, I repeat, I do not block anyone for a different opinion of mine. I do not have any personal interest in no fighter. If you say tomato and I say tomato, we still agree to disagree at the end of the day. This is one network from the LDBC that you are free to speak your mind. As long as you keep my family out your mouth, we are all good, baby. That's right. If I like Earl Spence and you like Terrence Crawford, It's still all love. Hell, shoot your shit right here on KQKC Network. All right? Now, with that, that's all I got. I greet you with the ancient word of peace. And we say it right here in Arabic. It's Assalamu alaikum. And Salaikum Salam. That comes from the Holy Quran. Now, with that, may God bless all you all. And I am out.